Warframe is my favorite farming simulator. Warframe was built on the basis of fair farm. Reward your players for their time invested and reward them well. I know the grind turns a lot of people off from the game, but that's just part of the gameplay loop, and it's Digital Extremes' job to try their best to achieve that. And most of the people saying how bullshit and grindy it is, I can guarantee has never touched a Korean MMO in their entire life. Let's use Voidfishers as an example. By far one of the most popular game modes, and for good reason. You select your cabbage, collect some lemons, and get your reward. Some people seek out specific rewards, but because RNG hates you and only you will not be getting your reward. So how is this worth your time? Well, those little junk prime rewards are still worth something. You can trade them to other people for platinum, usually people trying to flip full sets. You can convert them into borrow spondylix. Have everything from borrow? Well, you can just sell his stuff too. You get those extra void traces to help increase your odds in future runs. And the monotony is only as painful as you make it because of the variety of missions. Fishers are good. Yeah, Kuva can suck shit. The fact that Kuva and Rivens is one of the few systems that hasn't been changed over the past 5 years is mind-blowing. We've gotten Riven dispositions and 2 new ways to farm Kuva. Kuva does not spark joy. When you're running a siphon, you aren't going there for the alloy plates and polymer bundles. You aren't there farming up 80 sets of the Orvius, and if you are, God help you. When you're doing a Kuva survival, you aren't there because you like the Kuva fortress. I sure hope you aren't. You're there because you need Kuva. I mean, there are arbitrations, which is probably the most rewarding if you're good at the game. You pick up the little bad dragon butt plugs and turn them in for what you want, but instead of getting Kuva and other rewards, chances are you're just going to go for the Kuva. I think the rate of acquisition for Kuva is fine, not great, but fine. The way you spend it is up for debate. Rivens, those little purple nuggets of pure frustration, you inject the Kool-Aid, you get the random stats. There is no trick. You either get your god roll in 10 attempts, or you're still rolling your dog water at 100. You spend all of this time running the same 1 to 2 missions, getting only one singular resource that matters with nothing in between. Hours of void dashing and void blasting your way through the fattest sacks of Kuvies. Then you spend it in less than 2 minutes, and you're left more often than not with nothing. This brings me back to the old Kubrow pattern system, back when you could pay platinum to essentially turn your dog into a slot machine for a random pattern. DE took that out of the game for good reason. Oh, but Sab, that cost platinum. You're doing this for free. Yeah, that costs money, but you want to know what is more precious than the US dollar? Dogecoin. But in a close second, it's this thing called my fucking time. Free-to-play games need a high player retention to keep their players going for longer, all the while enticing them more and more to spend in the marketplace. That's fine, that's just the business model of a free-to-play game, and it needs that. But when your game isn't really retenting anymore, maybe it's time to change something, I don't know. One of my favorite fixes is as simple as could be. Pay a chunk of Kuva to lock a stat in place. Let's just say you want to keep one stat on your roll and roll the others. You can select that stat, lock it, let's say for 1 to 10 rolls using a hearty chunk of your Kuva. Not too cheap to invalidate the time invested by other players previously, but not too expensive to put people off from using the system to begin with. Let's just say an extra 1,000 Kuva tacked on per roll to lock a stat. Scott McGregor was incredibly against this idea, saying that the system is already so RNG heavy, which I don't see how improving your odds makes it more RNG heavy. You need to run the sortie and hope you get a Riven. Hope the Riven is the right type of weapon you want. Hope the one that you unlock is a weapon you or anyone else would be willing to use. Make sure the MR's within your range. Pray the cat buffs when the Kuva flood starts. Sacrifice a couple goats and hope that your rolls don't kiss you on the lips and push the shit back into your asshole. Throwing us a bone would really be that detrimental? I don't know, maybe. I also may have a big wiener. All I know is that Kuva can suck my nards and soak in the proboscis Cernos. Fuck you.